Hello, welcome to the All or Nothing podcast. Our official sponsors are KR Couriers and Transport Limited. This is a Northwest based courier company delivering all across the UK. They can assist in home moves and removals to large, heavy and bulky items, collections and drop-offs. Fast, safe and reliable deliveries. Please get in touch for a free quote. You'll find all the information within the description. Thank you. Hello everybody and welcome back to the All or Nothing podcast with myself, Billy Moore. Today's special guest is Kevin Atkinson. Now Kevin, you've lived a colourful life. You know, you've been in and out of mental health institutions, cocaine addiction. You've gone from rags to riches, from riches to rags. Tell us a little bit about yourself before we bring in Kev.
Basically, my name's Kevin Aky. Born in Atkinson. Grew up in Page Moss. Obviously went to school in Page Moss. Had like mental health problems as a child. Obviously, which you now look at as like ADHD sort of.
Yeah, because the labels weren't they? We didn't know that when
we didn't know that at the time. Obviously, but as future's gone on,
more awareness,
more questionable now that. Obviously, my mother thought I was a bad child, stuff like that. Just had ways about me and all that.
Just behaviour problems?
Bad behavioural problems, stuff like that.
Tell by your leg moving though. And that'll bounce off the camera.
Sorry.
So you had little behavioural problems?
Yeah.
So tell us where that took you, Kev, because it's obviously took you down a really dark path through life.
Yeah, well, obviously left school at the age of 16. My first job was Denstone Crescent. You might know it, Bill. Former road in Page Moss.
Yeah.
Used to be one of the heaviest roads for drugs in the old Merseyside.
Back in the 90s?
Big hype.
Yeah.
That's how my cocaine addiction started. I'd found a stash of it.
How much did you find, Kev?
Ounces, Bill. Ounces.
Ounces of Charlie, just all great gear as well.
That lasted me 3 days, mate.
On your own?
3 days on my own. That's how it started.
Yeah.
I ate a voodoo, mate. Proper ate a voodoo, haven't I?
Yeah.
It's full of regrets now, like.
Did you come on top of finding that parcel?
I took it hard and for it, put it that way.
Yeah.
Obviously, to come back there was people in Page Moss that were willing to back me, who stood against them.
Yeah.
So sort of went okay for me. That was like when I was younger, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And how old are you now, Kev?
I'm now 47, believe it or not, Bill.
Really? You look well for it though, lad. Yeah.
So 29 years of cocaine, don't you, Bill?
Yeah. I don't know if everyone can say that, but I think, you know, it pickles you a little bit. So where did you go with this addiction? You know, because obviously it's a lot of cocaine. You've been snorting. You were snorting. How much a day was you taking at one point?
At me 8, I was doing about 6 ounces a week.
On your own?
Obviously with ex-girlfriends, stuff like that.
But you were going through 6 ounces a week, so that's you're talking thousands, £6,000-7,000 a week there.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's what? Yeah, it's like £1,000 a day, literally.
I can recall one time going to Blackpool, taking 2 ounces with me.
Yeah.
To get me through the week. Stayed in the Hilton Hotel. Done it all in the first night. For my brother to bring me another one down the second day.
Wow. How did you manage to get through 2 ounces in one night, Kev?
Don't know.
Just a monster.
It was heavy.
But where did that take you mentally? Because, you know, you must have been like really like screwed with it all.
Yeah, basically, obviously the voices, the paranoia, everything was going on, everyone was against me, stuff like that.
Well, that paranoid psychosis.
Paranoid psychosis.
Explain what was that like for you, Kev? Was it scary?
Yeah, it was always scary. Obviously, not having the control in your brain, very scary. You've got, like, before the breakdown, me breakdown he had, the psychosis and that, I used to be able to think, this is the drugs doing this, this is the drugs doing this.
Yeah.
I had a fight in me then.
So you had a little bit of understanding and a bit of awareness.
I did understand that.
It was the drugs.
Part of it was the drugs.
Yeah.
But then on other senses, I was thinking, is it the drugs or is that really happening?
Yeah.
And then I'd have the drugs again to see if the same happened again. So I was stuck in like this cycle, just thinking,
repeating that same mistake and trying
to chase, was it really happening or was it just in my head?
Yeah.
So it was a chase really.
And what conclusion did you come to at the end of all that, trying to chase it and the patterns that you were going in and out of?
Yeah, the conclusion was obviously the cocaine was destroying me head. Obviously it was messing with my mental health. I've suffered mental health all through my life. Obviously, as we all know, full fact, mental health and drugs don't mix.
Yeah, definitely not.
So obviously there was just crazy times.
Yeah. And what consequences in life did you face with, the cocaine addiction? Because you did go from like having a DVD empire, didn't you?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that, because that was like the big money spinner for you at one point, weren't it?
On the DVDs I started off in 2003 with a lad, of course, who I grew up with. And then I started having the coke, so he took it on his own. So by 2006, obviously I'd met with one of Liverpool's biggest names, and set up with him. Yeah. Obviously, don't want to mention his name.
Don't have to mention no names, Kev.
Obviously, that's what threw me on the map, big time. Then, obviously, I just went around building rounds and putting people on the rounds. I'd pour into DVDs more money what drug dealers were taking.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable, the money was taken.
So it was like selling drugs, but like no one was getting high.
Best I was taking like 10 grand a week, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Couldn't get nicked for a piece of pulling and go, what have you got, DVDs? Go on, let you go.
Yeah, you was making a killing on them.
Driving around in all the best cars, everything.
Flying around in jet planes.
I had every section of nearly, I had Merseyside boxed, parts of Lancashire boxed, parts of Cheshire boxed. I had rounds everywhere. I'm probably the only person in this city that's been in every pub in Merseyside and took control in that pub. There isn't a pub in Merseyside I haven't took control, walked in and just out shouted everyone.
And everyone just comes here?
Everyone just listen. And because obviously we were, at first, people looked at the Chinese selling DVDs, but then all of a sudden these lads are going in selling DVDs, looking dead healthy, pulling up in X5s and all that, selling DVDs. It was like, wow, what's this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the Chinese were smashing it, weren't they, with the DVDs? Remember
that? So we got rid of them, Bill.
And how did you get rid of them?
Just legged them. They got legged right out of the time then.
So what's it, where did this, so it's like a round, like it's like, you see it as a round, and you're obviously making a lot of money. Are people trying to step on your toes a little bit here, or?
No one stepped on our toes. Everyone knew. I was known all over Merseyside as Kev DVD.
Yeah.
Obviously, round heighting and stuff, people know me as Kev Aky. But
where did this money that you were making taking you then? Because you told me you were sitting off.
Obviously, nice holidays, nice cars, best clothes money could buy. Liverpool games home and away. I'd have like 30 tickets every Liverpool game. Hospitalities. Yeah. I was taking everyone with me. Going abroad of Liverpool. Even watch Tyson Fury when Klitschko in Dusseldorf. even
just enjoying the finer things of life.
Yeah, see, even when I went to the UEFA Cup final with Liverpool, I was on a plane with Ian Rush and all that, all of the ex-footballers. I was on a private jet.
Just living the dream.
A funny story, Bill, right? I've got to tell you this. I went to Atkinson in 2007.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, you're a Liverpool fan, aren't you, Bill?
No, I'm a blue lad.
Are you a blue? I thought you were a Liverpool, could have seen it right there. What happened is, all the planes were overbooked.
Yeah.
So I was bladdered and that at the airport, and my plane had been overbooked, so I couldn't get a flight. So I had to go to the British Embassy on the airport. And he asked me my name, and then he done a check on me, and I come back with my mental health.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting sectioned there, over there, in Greece, put in this mental institute. And have you seen Midnight Express?
Yeah, yeah.
It was the same as that, mate. We were all walking around, and I was thinking, what's happening here? And then I went to sleep the first night, and the second night I thought, I can't stay here. Luckily enough, there was a window open, a little window, and I just got out of that. Escaped out, made me way to Athens airport, obviously, because I had no alcohol, so I was level-headed at that time. Got to Athens airport, I had no money, so I had to phone through to get Western Union sent over, and met up with tickets out from, I'm not going to say where from, like, obviously the tickets out, good lad, great lad, got to meet him, like, and then we had a flight book for Gatwick on the weekend. So we had to stay in a hotel on the airport, and obviously one of the lads from Marbella, from Heighton End, had just got his flight back. So we left us with a big fat bag of cocaine in his room. So as you can guess, we just partied the last couple of nights there. And then obviously come home, I had a panic attack on the plane. They had all gas and air on me and all that. Got picked up at Gatwick, took home and stuff like that.
Must have had a massive impact on your whole lad, though, Kev, like that kind of life. Because I only, I've met you a little while back now, and I've never known you in your addiction, but I've heard your stories and I've seen your statuses on, and the pictures that you've put up, and, the transformation from what you was to where you are now, right? So, obviously I can put a picture up for you for the viewers here, the audience, to see, what you were like before.
Yeah. And
how you've absolutely transformed your life, and you've changed, and you're hitting the gym and you're training really hard. But you've had a few, unsavoury moments in your life. You were telling me about your friend before. Do you want to explain what happened there?
Yeah, something that hit me hard was obviously my young mate, Jamie Starkey, getting shot dead. We all know the story behind him. He was loved by all gangsters, obviously, because he was a 16-year-old kid and stood up to one of the biggest gangsters in the city. We all knew the story. No one had gone near this lad. New Year's Eve, he shot him. When I was going to see him in prison, he went phased by it. Yeah. And I had just so much respect for this kid, because he was a young kid, you know what I mean?
Just game, just not.
He was game. If he was still here to this day,
yeah,
he'd probably be the biggest name in Liverpool, because there was nothing had phased him. Nothing had phased the kid.
But with him being lively, he, someone had to take him out, didn't he? I think that was the problem with young is it Jamie?
Yeah.
Sadly.
He was a cracker kid.
He was a close friend of yours.
Yeah, he was a very good friend. It's good seeing him grow up all through his life.
Yeah. And that hit you really hard.
Knocked me, that one.
Yeah.
Known quite a few people to be shot dead, but like Jamie's one hit me hard.
So when you're in that lifestyle, I mean, obviously, Kev, we've both lived like a dark world, and we've seen, losses in life of people that we've been close to, or or known of, and it does have an impact. And it's someone said to me, Bill, it's not the drugs that are going to kill you, it'll be the lifestyle that you're living. And I thought, yeah, he's right, because I can survive all those hurdles of using, you know what I mean? I know how to operate and, play the game and move in the dark, but when I was getting like chased and hunted down and, threatened, and I'd have yardies off, and people were pulling out like shivs and pieces and machetes, and it's like, you're closer to losing your life a few times, you know what I mean? So did you know, what was that like for you? That way of life? Or even moving in those circles, because it is tough, isn't it?
With me, it would have been different, because obviously, although the drugs were there, the mental health was there too.
So you had two things to combat?
Yeah, so I was always up against both. See, like, the stories I'm not proud of, obviously I've got both my brothers, I've stabbed both of them.
Yeah.
One in a busy pub a few days before Christmas, walked in, threw a bottle right through his nearly through his temple. Lucky, obviously straight sectioned into the hospital. The brother was, when I was like stopping the drugs, and he just come back, he'd spent me money on cocaine and on me. I just went red, I just seen red. Where they say you see red, I seen red, and just put the steak knife through his back, and like, to this day, I regret both of them, you know what I mean? And my brothers, I regret doing it to anyone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially my brothers, but like, I had this temper tendency in me that I could just go, you know what I mean? That I had no control over.
Was that scary? You just seen red?
Yeah, it was scary. Like, I'd suffer spontaneous reactions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not understanding about it.
And I think that's important for people to know, because there's a lot of people that see when that mist comes over them, you know, and they react in situations. Because I know from myself, you know, it's like, you know, when you've got no awareness or understanding, and you're fueled, you know, by drugs, you know, you're doing things without even thinking, and then you feel all that shame, like you just said, the regret and the sadness of it all. You know, because that's not who you are, and it's not who I am. It's what we become. It's what we've done while we're under the influence, and while our head's a little bit shot with things. You know, so you've had to kind of deal. You're not only dealing with addiction and your mental health, you're dealing with the shame and the guilt.
Yeah.
So it's adding onto things now, Kev, right? And it takes, you know, it takes a big, strong man, you know, the courage to go, look, put his hands up and admit that, like, you know, he needs to get help through all that, you know, because it was this similar to me, bang, that was that, then that was that, and then it was just, whoa, what the fucking hell is a rock bottom here? It's never ending.
Yeah.
You know, you seem to have gone through a lot of rock bottoms in your life, but you've come back.
Yes,
you know?
if it was to be honest, though, Bill, the biggest rock bottom was obviously the mental breakdown.
Yeah, tell us about that, because you shared that a few times.
I was doing a lot of work. Obviously, the DVDs were still at a hype. I had a car park cleaning business that was going well. I'd done a fighting event in Sutton Leisure, Muay Thai and boxing, obviously. I had like celebrities on. Then was Space were on. They were on, it was like a big event. I was fighting, my kids were fighting. There was like 16 fights on in the event. And like, before that, I think I'd say it was about July, and I had a few fights in July that I could feel my head changing. I started feeling not right, you know what I mean? Like, things weren't feeling right for me. Like, my life, I went from feeling happy to feeling like sort of sad, you know what I mean? But obviously, at the time, I had no understanding of it. But it's only now that I know that understanding, that I was having a mental breakdown. Obviously, through the breakdown, like big sections all the time, just getting slammed with section 3s. But what happened? When it started happening, I was in and out of the mental health hospital, and they were like that. No, there's not much up with you. Changing my medication. So over the 3-year period, I'd spent nearly 2 full years in hospital. And I'd never got diagnosed up until I actually killed myself. Back in, I think it was June or July 2018, I had an overdose. I had this spontaneous reaction where I wanted to kill myself. where people talk about overdoses and they say 20 tablets, that's not an overdose. I took 250, Bill. You're talking diazepams, sopracones, or all the big hitters. I took 250, mate. Got found. Had free cardiac arrest. You know yourself, to survive a cardiac arrest is good, but to survive for
it's a fucking miracle, isn't it?
Frey survived. Obviously got his sister back to life. Don't know how I lived through that day. And then obviously because of me actions and stuff, it was the police kept getting me and taking me to Jersey and saying this lad's not right, obviously because they knew me from beforehand through the DVDs and stuff. So in the end they took a good look at me and got psychologists out to me and realised I did have mental illness, and then they diagnosed me, changed my medication and stuff. And then I spent like nearly a full year in hospital, solid full year just in hospital. Obviously to keep myself going, I'd have my pads and that there, and I'd be padding patients and all that. It was the hardest thing I've ever been through in my life. I've lived on the streets, Bill. I lived on the streets in '96. Spent like 4 months on the streets. Streets are easy to the breakdown, mate. Once you've had a breakdown, you've got no control over your head. You're not controlling what's going on in your head. You're just you're fighting this battle you can't fight because you don't even know your eyes. You don't even. I lost my knowledge. I had kids, and you know what I mean. I've got 6 children.
6 kids.
Got 6 kids, Bill.
Wow.
I'd forgot about my children, forgot about everything. I had like constant voices going on in my head. I can recall a time when I was in Clockview, obviously that's the hospital I was in. And I knew my head weren't right. So I went and said to the nurse, look, I'm not right, I need a sleeping tablet. She refused me the sleeping tablet. I just went back to my room, smashed the mirror. Right through my wrist, blood everywhere, claret everywhere. I was get took to obviously outside the hospital by a lot of nurses. They wouldn't take me on my own because of obviously what it was like.
The way you were reacting, yeah.
Yeah, and I that went on over like best part of 3 years before I started getting a bit of stability back in my brain. They obviously started injecting me then instead of giving me medication. Medication weren't working, whatever medication. They were just guessing me medication. There was even a time, I can recall a time, the time I had that big overdose bill, right? I was in Broadoak in Broad Green. I'll say his name, Bobby Parry his name is, right? He's a playwright, big playwright in Merseyside. Does all the Everton plays, you might know him.
I've never come across him, no. What's his name? Bob Parry?
Bobby Parry does all the plays for Everton, you know, the Alan Ball play and Crest. Right, he come up as my responsible adult for my meeting. He turned round to the psychiatrist and said, do not let Kevin out, he's very unstable. The psychiatrist let me out, and that was the night I was fighting for my life, pre-cardiac arrest. So they went against the word of a responsible adult. Obviously, people have said to me, obviously I should look at taking legal action over that. Because they were told I weren't stable enough to make my own decisions. And the psychiatrist went against the decision of the adults that was saying not to let him out.
And it almost ended your life that night?
Almost ended my life. How I'm here today, Bill, don't know, mate.
It's a miracle, Kev. It's a miracle that you've survived 3 cardiac arrests, mate. 250 tablets, big hitters, shoppers, Ziazis. It's not they're not just paracetamol, even though, you know, I'm not undermining them as a fucking drug, but wow, you know what I mean? You've gone for gold there, haven't you?
Yeah.
What happened? Where was the turning point in all this, Kev? Where was the change?
Obviously I then got out of Clockview. They got me a flat, obviously. Obviously it was on Band A, priority, get them somewhere to live. Part of my, obviously I was put on a care plan because of me mental health being so severe. Then obviously CPN would be out every week. then give me an injection. I can't remember what it was called I was having. I just knew I was getting this injection. It
was it leveling you out?
Leveling me out there. And like, it's obviously still heavy on the cocaine. The cocaine was just...
So you couldn't shift this cocaine addiction no matter what, Kev?
No, but you know what, Bill? At the time, the cocaine went like it was when I started. The cocaine was like this clause, you know what I mean? It's like, I went enjoying it.
Yeah.
I got to the stage where it was an enjoyable drug. It was just like, I was having a pill. And like, I'm four floor flat. I had it barricaded, knives, hammers, everything. All the doors barricaded. Even though you couldn't get in my front door, it's sort of like when I tried to hang myself, it took the police over 45 minutes to get through the door. At a time when I was losing my head.
Yeah.
And then I'd be convinced I could hear people getting through the window on the 4th floor. Like, can you get a ladder that high? You know what I mean? It's like, is this really happening, or is it just me? And then I think the big turning point was obviously, I don't want to mention his name. Everyone who knows me well, and I don't know who I'm on about.
Yeah.
He fought for like 18 months to get me off these drugs.
Yeah.
Obviously, a time when he was in jail, I used to go for him, bring him home on home leaves and stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously his loyalty was there. He was there trying for 18 months to get me off the drugs. 18 months he spent.
So you had someone who believed in you, Kev?
Yeah, when everyone was saying to him, leave him, leave him, he's a lost cause. And obviously, he no matter what, he wouldn't
leave you,
give up, you know what I mean? And then the big turning point, Bill, was obviously I love kids. I've been great to my kids. No one can take that from me. I had my kids, my boys at Cybox at 7 o'clock every morning, home and away, Liverpool games, you know what I mean? I had my girls in private school for a few years. And the turning point was like little chain of events were happening. Like, I was at a party, and his mother said to me, "Hey Kevin, remember you Beers Burgers?" Obviously his son.
Yeah, your mate, yeah.
Yeah. And like, it got me thinking, and I was thinking, I know what it did. And then he said to me, get off the drugs, I'll make you godfather of my child. And obviously, if the thought of having a child back in my life, you know what I mean? Even though I would have only been the godfather, but it's still a kid that you can...
Yeah, definitely, man.
Only, you know what I mean? So like...
It's a massive responsibility.
Yeah, it got me thinking, and then there was this one night, I can call this one night, Bill. I sat there, and I looked in the mirror, and you've seen the pictures of me, like 8 stone, ringing wet. I looked at myself, I cried my eyes out, proper tears. Never cried so much in my life. Thinking, where did it go wrong? What's happened? How's this happened to me? And I had a new ready, a new stop. And just by chance, this lad phoned me. And the phone call was positive, you know what I mean? And it switched me head. And from that day, that's when it all started to change. He then obviously took me to dedicated super gym, as we know.
Yeah.
The rest became history. Just in there every day, just love the gym. Just love it.
Just love training now, getting
just
physically fit.
Love the gym. Just absolutely love it. Just twice a day, 3 times a day sometimes. Just.
And that's your new drug now, isn't it?
That's my drug, Bill.
Yeah. And I'd say this to anyone, you know, whether, you know, it's wet or looking dry, whatever makes you right, you know, whether it's, you know, shutting outside of yourself that makes you feel good about you, you know, without having to pay for feelings, you know, from, you know, or purchase them from a boozer or whatever wherever you get, you know, you don't have to do that. You know, you can go and train now, and that's what you do, isn't it? You know, you get yourself. You know, and how was your life and your mental well-being, okay? Because like it's an horrific story. It's sad as well, you know, especially when you've got that kid's mum saying to you, "Do you remember when you used to be as big as our kid?" You know what I mean? And you think, and that was like it's something that you've reflected on, and you know, you've had that moment where you broke down and realised that, and you've emptied your soul, because that's what it's just full of pain, and once you peel an onion, that like, it's like peeling an onion in it, and you feel all that pain and sadness. You know, you start to heal, and that's what's happened with you. You started to heal from all that shit.
Yeah, obviously. See, the big thing I look at, as you know yourself, to say, to conquer your addiction, you've got to know your triggers. I can say full on now, my trigger is alcohol. Yeah. I've got no other trigger other than alcohol. The good thing I've got on my side is I don't really like alcohol. But if I had a drink today, I'd be on cocaine tonight.
Be hand in hand, wouldn't it?
So I know I don't like drinking anyway. Just plain and simple, stay up the aisle, and I'll never go on the cocaine again.
Yeah.
And obviously, as you know yourself, I love the gym too much, Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
love life too much now, Kev.
Yeah, do you know what, Bill, right? You're on drugs, 29 years on drugs, chasing this high. I got off the drugs and I found the high. It's just like life in general, like, obviously now, all I think of is my children and stuff, you know what I mean? I just want to be there for my kids. Yeah. Just lost like 5 years, 6 years out of life, you know what I mean?
Yeah, massive.
It's just like, the kid's gone.
Yeah. Sad, like, it's like all that loss. So what is it how do you feel today? How long has it been now? Because it's been, well, I'll know how long it's been, because you said it the other week, nearly a year now, isn't it? A year free. Yeah,
the funny thing is, right, Bill, it'll be a year on May 18th, which is my daughter's birthday. Wow. This will be the first year I was to see my daughter.
That's a year without cocaine.
Yeah, first time in 29 years.
Wow.
I have had times where I've stopped for like 8 months and that.
Yeah.
But this time's the real deal. I know it's the real deal. I'll never go near that again, mate.
You can't, Kevin. You can't. It's a demon.
It haunted me. No fruit. Because I think because of having a breakdown, it hit me different than it did beforehand. Yeah. I didn't.
You missed another rock bottom,
yeah. I went like enjoying it. You know what I mean? It was like needing it, and then then when obviously I got to the stage where I thought, I don't need that.
Yeah.
That's just...
It needs you more than you need that.
Like thinking... it was just like mad to change, like how quick it changed, how quick my head changed. Because within 4 weeks, I'd gone from this little skinny thing to like... Probably went from about 8 stone to about 11 within the first 6 weeks. My body started looking in shape and all that, and so obviously I started getting this hype then, you know what I mean?
What was it like looking in the mirror then, when you started seeing you coming back to life?
I feel never out the mirror now.
You're going to rebuild, you're getting your new teeth sorted and everything, aren't you? You're fucking taking it to any lengths now, innit?
Yeah, it's got all the way this time.
And you're on our fucking sanity all day long. And fucking, it's just about taking care of yourself though, innit?
Yeah.
No, it's... If you've abused yourself for such a long time, then what's the problem in just taking care of Kevin for a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, looking after yourself, going to the gym, being a little bit more like responsible about how you dress and how you look, and you know, that's what's important, and all that stuff as well adds to how, you know, you feel good. You look well on the outside, you're gonna look and feel good on the inside, you know what I mean? If you're looking fucking like a mess, you're gonna feel like a mess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I've got to state though, like, people think like people weren't there for me. There was a lot of good people there for me. I want to underline Lee Sayers. So when I was in the hospital, I went to this gym. He was my Thai boxing coach, and he said, Kevin, you can come to this gym anytime free. I'll train you free, all that. I'll look after you, get you back and all that. But obviously, it didn't take him up on it. Yeah. Because I started to isolate myself from people. Yeah. Although I've got a big back on Merseyside. I know people in every area in Merseyside, obviously from my DVD times and all the gangs and all the areas. And obviously I get on with people everywhere. So there was people willing to help me, but I weren't willing to help myself, you know what I mean? I prepared to isolate myself because I was thinking, nah, these are against me. My head had gone that far. I thought paranoia, everyone was against me,
Sadly.
Me, like, I was thinking, do these really want to help me or thingy? But obviously, my other mate, cousin, I grew up with him all my life, like, he was the only one that could get close to me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously, the girl that I got with, Claire, I've got to give her a mention, even though I'm not together with her no more, she still deserves a mention.
So give it gratitude for being there in the past and that, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was just like, the ride over them 6 years was horrendous.
He's been on an incredible, hard, fucking tough journey, Kev. So what, right, look, we come to the end there, you know, right? So I always say this to every guest, right? And I take my hat off to you because it took a lot of courage for you to sit there and share your story because it's not easy. I know from experience, you know, it's like quite nerve-wracking, you know, and you presented yourself really well, so hats off to you there. So what would you say to a young Kevin Atkinson coming through the doors of life? If you could see yourself now, right, at a young age, what would you tell yourself? What advice would you give yourself, Kev?
Leave the cocaine alone. Leave the cocaine alone, especially anyone who's got any sort of mental health needs to leave drugs alone. There's no life. See, what a lot of us do, we've got mental health, use the drugs to self-medicate.
Yeah.
But you're not really self-medicating, you're making the matters worse.
Yeah, man.
That's all you're doing. 100%. But like short term, and I started having my breakdown, I started using the coke again. It was helping me, I was thinking, that's just alright, and then within like weeks, everything was just going wild again, and like, what's happening, or stuff like that. So even times I used to sleep with a crossbow bill. I used to have a crossbow by my bed, you know what I mean? It's still a firearm in it, but you can get away with a crossbow, you know what I mean? You can have them in your house.
It's fucking dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Going to bed like that.
No, it's just, I had some knives, stuff like that.
Just a room full of weapons and no enemies.
Yeah, when now I can just sleep in the bed, leave the doors open and not be bothered about nothing, you know what I mean?
Just free.
Yeah, just free life, free in life, just
no worries. No worries.
No worries, just enjoying life and just
brilliant.
Just being happy and like feeling like I've got the end of that horrific journey.
Brilliant.
Obviously ready to just settle down now and just
carry on living and
be happy and just never worry about drugs again.
Brilliant. And with that, Kev, honest, it's been a pleasure having you on. Honest. Thank you very much.
Sam,
and I wish you so well in the future.
Sam, man.